But the secret society we're dismissing here is paedophilia. Paedophiles are the biggest secret society on the planet, and Satanists. I think we'll branch them all in one here.
It is literally, yeah, there is prostitution, yeah, there is paedophilia, but the actual reason that it's continuing is this spiritual element and this ritual element, isn't it?
Anyone who commits a deviant act, a sexual act like that on a child, is committing an act of evil, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's not held to be part of a coven, a cult, or whatever it might be, it's still evil.
Yeah.
And, you know, they hide behind the fact that no one believes it exists. And whilst that continues, they all continue. But it is getting better. But unfortunately, what happens is that when you wake up and you realise that this is the single biggest threat to humanity that we've ever faced, and that is the abuse of our children, because it just destroys a whole nation, you know, and it does it in a heartbeat, then you can never unsee it. You know what you know, and therefore you continue to campaign that this stops. But no one wants to hear it, so your world becomes very, very small, you know, and people just want to discuss other things. They do not want to discuss that. But when you're in this environment, this is all you want to talk about, and you cannot believe that no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah, and you're right. I can't unhear or unsee what I've heard and seen. You know, the stories, the truth of it, and sometimes I have to take a break from it as well, because, you know, like yourself, I wouldn't have chosen it, but I can't let go of it now, because, and I don't intend to let go of it, because I'm like you. I don't want to be on my deathbed and look back and think I could have saved a child or contributed to ending this evil that's going on this planet. And as far as I'm concerned, once you see it, you can't look away from it. How can you look away from the abuse of children like that?
Well, it's
no,
sorry to have a quick snap, but it's knowing what these kids have endured and what they face, you know, and it just sickens me. I mean, the British public were up in arms a couple of years ago because a CCTV camera caught a woman. She picked up a cat and threw it in a wheelie bin. And she didn't kick it, punch it or anything. She threw it in a wheelie bin and shut the lid. The cat got out and life carried on. But they were so enraged by it that she was arrested. She lost her job. She had to be moved house because they wanted to lynch her and burn her. And someone said, "I'll put your video up, John," and it got a few hits. But then there was a video of a dog falling in a puddle, and that got like hundreds of thousands of hits. A dog tripped over and fell in a puddle, you know, and people wanted to see that. You know, and they might say, "Oh, well, they like a little bit of, you know, candid comedy, and they you know, they like, you know, light side of life," but which is okay if it's a balance, but it isn't a balance. People just want to fill their heads with nonsensical rubbish, and just ignore, you know, the prevalence of this evil, you know, and it is building and building and building.
And this is, it's really, I think they've done a really clever job on society. Yeah, by getting people to look away from it, the way they've indoctrinated us, the way the media, you know, through the media, through the ridicule, through the disbelief. But I mean, the cat thing, it's horrible. A woman doing that to a cat, it's not nice. I'm a vegan. I love animals. You know, it needs calling out for what it is. But at the same time, like you, I'll put a video of I went to a crop circle at the weekend. I got 60 odd likes on it. I put another video on an article on about 10,000 children going missing in the UK. And there's about 3 people liked it. And that is absolutely still, it's changing. Don't get me wrong, it is changing. It's at one point people used to just completely ignore my posts, but now it is, there is a big shift going on. I can feel a big massive difference.
But the other thing you're looking at is those that do whistleblow, that they're being prosecuted. Yeah, and those absolutely. That speak out, that they have gotten an overzealous approach to their to the sort of contempt laws. You know, they're using injunctions where they're not necessary, and this is perverting justice. You know, and it takes all sorts. It doesn't just take one. But we want the law changed that when an officer comes forward and speaks out, that they are legally protected. They're protected by an act of parliament. So anyone that interferes with them, whilst that's ongoing and they're a victim, an informant and a witness to this crime, that no one can touch them. And it's important to mention that if the police whistleblowers are not given protection, then the victims and survivors of abuse do not stand a chance of getting any justice.